let's get into this Digi State shit then.
What is up, amigos and amigas, to the new Digi State podcast that we have been producing for a total of...
I don't know, not that long, but...
Like about 3 hours?
Yeah, maybe.
What's the total time of all the podcasts we've done so far?
Well, I think we've failed more than we've succeeded, but it's a learning curve, and eventually, buddy, we're going to the top.
Oh, yeah, 100%. There's nowhere. We're already at the bottom, basically. So there's nowhere to go from here. Look at that. We're already climbing. God damn, I love America.
Yeah, we can't even fail, bro, because we haven't won. So how can you fail if you've never won it? Well, we're winning, but this is new for us, the podcast thing.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, it's really cool. I like it a lot. How have you been enjoying it?
It's a learning curve. I like it. I mean, so just for the viewers at home, me, which is, Taylor Talks, Chris Taylor, and then Lostt Ramos over here.
Lostt tattoos, baby.
Yeah, we've been working together for close to a year. You know what I mean?
Damn it, has it been that long?
It's close to a year. We're not far off.
I could have swore, bro, I remember you as a child. You and me just kicking the can around.
Oh, yeah. In our past lives, maybe.
Our past lives, maybe, for sure.
Yeah. Oh,
but yeah, about a year makes sense.
No homo.
That's crazy. I honestly didn't... When I met you, I thought it was going to be, hey, bro, I'm in. Thanks for the spot. I'm out. And it turned into, you know what? I'm gonna stay here for a little bit. I enjoyed the little atmosphere. We're getting things done. Yeah,
I mean, for me, if you remember what I told you, I was like, you're either gonna stick it out or you're gonna run away. I was like, that's what's gonna happen. It's one of those two. Maybe a little bit of both.
That's the only choices you really got.
Yeah.
You gotta deal with it or just fucking run. And not dealing with it is kind of bull, for real.
Yeah.
You end up, it comes right back to you later.
Right. It really does. So yeah, for the viewers at home, some of the stuff we were saying is going to have context, and we'll try to address the context because we've already had a million conversations. And the reason we started this podcast was because instead of getting everything done we were trying to get done, we find ourselves sitting here talking a lot, and we're like, bro, we're grown. We got to monetize everything we do.
Yep.
If we're going to sit here and talk and get into conversations,
make content out of it at least.
Yeah, do something.
Even
with
if
it.
It's not monetized, there needs to be some kind of progression going on.
Yeah, dude, do something with it.
And every once in a while, our conversations hit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been sitting there. Yeah. We'd have conversations that would be like, this is the kind of, at least that I feel that this is the kind of conversation that we should have been having with other people, but I don't find myself having that many conversations with other people.
Right.
It's kind of interesting too, though. This dynamic.
This place attracts.
Yes, I was just gonna say it's kind of interesting, this dynamic and the tattoos that we do. It's so as tattoo artists, we bring in a diverse crowd. Like, tattoos are in every type of culture.
Right.
And like the preppy kid culture, the pretty girl culture, the skater punk culture, the goth culture, the thugged out culture. Every sense of every culture in every corner of the world has tattooing. And so many people from different kind of atmospheres have come here. And when we have our kind of talks with them, I think we definitely, also we agreed on this podcast that we were going to definitely interview a few other people on it, because there's sometimes we get really interesting perspectives.
Right. Oh yeah, dude. I think this place just breeds crazy conversation. Like, crazy. And the thing is, too, the people around here are from such different walks of life. I mean, we got the dude on the end. He's like a Midwestern Pittsburgh guy. You know what I'm saying? And then he's in real estate.
And all age differences. It's so crazy because that same neighborhood he grew up in a different generation, is a completely different thing, in a different mentality.
Right.
It's just, it's wild, honestly.
Yeah, and then the dudes at the other end, they're, we're talking about like India's politics and like all types of crazy stuff.
Ujjwal and Ankur, big shout out.
Yeah,
big fucking shout out. We love you guys. Just keep on giving us those free waters.
Yeah, we love them. We love them. They get tattoos too, though. You know
they do. We're the only people that walk into the liquor store and don't get liquor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tattoo drunk. It's really hard to tattoo drunk.
Just in general, I don't think I've ever... Oh, no, that's a lie. I have one time. I was out with my cousin and we ended up getting like a few bottles.
Dude, honestly, so I learned how to tattoo in like an old school biker shop right next to a bar.
Just off Percocets and a shit ton of fucking Roxy's. One line turns into 7, just waving back and forth.
That was the guys that were teaching me. But basically, my apprenticeship, they were like feeding me shots. So like, if you can't tattoo drunk, you can't tattoo. It's like, you know, if you can't dodge a ball or you can't dodge a wrench, you can't dodge a ball. Like,
fuck, intense.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like throwing you to the fucking wolves. It's like, we're gonna do everything to shake you up.
Oh, savagery.
Yeah.
Savagery, bro. And
it's crazy. Tattooing already comes with so much shakeup.
Oh,
like
dude.
the fact you're putting something permanent on someone's skin is already nerve-wracking as it is, and now they're like, fucking do drugs while you do this, and like, that's intense.
That's the old school way, bro. That was like bikers for real. You know what I'm saying? That's the community around that. And you know, the people I learned from were in that community. Obviously, times have changed. All those people have changed with the times as well. You know what I'm saying? They come full circle like everybody else. But those times, man, oh man, was it a savage time to be a tattoo artist.
What year are you thinking? Sailor Jerry years?
Oh no, I mean that. Yes, of course, that was like unadulterated savagery. But I'm telling you, the early 2000s and 90s,
grunge,
even 80s, dude,
grunge,
savage.
Fuck.
I mean, you got to remember, tattoos were basically illegal all over the place 30 years ago. So if you go back 30 years,
it's crazy. It's been just a small amount of time.
Yeah.
Look how much it's transformed
Right.
from the machines we're using to the tattoos.
well,
everything.
it was the people that got brought into tattooing too. You know, like
More
so,
artistic
like
for sure.
yeah, because like when it's like, oh well, it's illegal, so you and your posse has to beat back the police to keep your shop open on a regular basis.
It's not about the tattoo. It's not about the art at that point. It's about like the lifestyle.
Right. It was definitely a lifestyle thing. So once tattoos became legitimate and you could actually have them, it made it further, but you were still kind of a degenerate. So when I started getting tattooed, which was like 20 years ago, right, I was a degenerate. People saw me and they clutched their bag and they crossed the street.
Yep,
And I'm
just
not even,
shops.
just for the viewers at home, I'm not even all that heavily tattooed by
Let's post
2022.
a picture of him.
Yeah.
Billy, get that picture in.
Yep.
And that's not what we pay you for, Billy.
And the thumbnail. Don't forget the thumbnail.
Right now.
The thumbnail.
How much are we paying him?
Oh, we're not.
Billy, work.
Don't make me get up, boy.
You do sound intimidating, bro. That did sound a little intimidating. So we're talking a tattoo era where I remember this too. It would literally just be signs like what you say: ass, cash, or grass.
Oh, that was literally, yes.
So back then, it definitely was a lifestyle: drugs, bitches, money, all this dumb shit. But I really like now you see tattooing, and it's like a lot of closed off, secluded motherfuckers that are just artsy little fucks who just wanted to jump into another kind of canvas because they need a new kind of outlet.
Who I am in tattooing is I'm the bridge of that. So I grew up savage, you know, 80s, 90s kid, just savage as hell from Florida, you know, like I grew up savage, but then I went to art school and then I also started to learn about mental health and spirituality and like changing my life, right? And then had kids happened and it was like have to really change my life. So I'd already been through art school, right? So I had the artsy fartsy background, but I was also just a savage, like a street person. So when I was trying to bridge the gap to make it out of being just a savage, tattoos was like the outlet for me that seemed like it made sense.
Saved.
Right. I didn't even intend to do it. It came to me. But when it came to me, I was like, this makes sense. Maybe I should do this because I could get out of the way I was living and transition to this art thing. Now, luckily for me, the first year I started tattooing was like basically like Miami Ink. I think the second year I was tattooing, Miami Ink started. And so after 4 or 5 years of tattoo TV shows in the mainstream, all of a sudden it wasn't the same people coming in and getting tattooed. It wasn't just bikers coming in and getting tattooed.
Yeah.
It was everybody.
Question,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, I don't even mean to
Go ahead.
interrupt you.
No,
but,
you're good.
how long, let's say, were you surrounded by tattoo artists before? Because I know I was surrounded by tattoo artists, and I didn't even think once in my life that I would be a tattoo artist.
Yeah, it didn't ever occur to me ever to even think about it. And to give context for the people at home, I'm 14 years in, approaching on 15 years in. So I've been doing it for a while.
But if anyone asks his age, he's 25 and 25 forever. Do not let that ever slip.
No, that could get me in trouble.
You heard him screaming earlier. We do not want that again.
I'm a grown-ass man.
Billy, mark his age on Wikipedia correct.
So basically, tattooing grew as I did as well. So it was like perfect timing for me. You know what I mean? Like as
really
I
saw it grow.
Yeah, I saw it happen.
You did.
And I was there. Trust me. It was like coil days to modern day now, where you got like the super beautiful rotaries, but they're further than they used to be. They're so much sweeter and smoother.
What was the first pen came out? FK Iron.
Was it? No.
Yeah, the FK Iron had this.
I think the first couple of those type of things, because those type of things came out in the small manufacturers. Small manufacturers make those things, and then bigger companies come along and swoop up the design. So FK and Cheyenne and all that shit, like Cheyenne definitely.
Zion Spectra.
Yeah.
Boom. That's the first pen I saw, at least.
Right. Yeah. No, I saw other like pens that were more like made by individuals who were like, I have this new concept. And I saw those pop up for a couple years before major companies dropped pens.
Yeah. That was a trial and error process right there.
Yeah.
How much was FK Irons when you first saw that Zion Spectra drop?
I don't remember, but I know it was probably over 400 because FK already kind of had a name going for it.
So back then it wasn't even thousands, because right now machines are thousands. Like they're thousands something.
Joe Biden's America, bro. Welcome.
Jesus.
Welcome.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah. Let's go, Brandon. Like,
let's go all the fucking way to the
so
grid.
just so you know, we work for ourselves, and he's not helping the American worker. I can tell you that right now. It's frustrating.
It's a hit for sure.
You know, and I voted for Obama, so you know, like you feel me? Like this is different.
Yeah. To be honest, this political theater has people shifted so much on left and right. It's like fuck teams, fuck sides. Like what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. And what's happening right now, like obviously what we saw in the past 3 years, or it's been 2 years now. It just
feels like 3.
Completely dragged out.
Oh my god.
Mess.
It's a mess.
And I don't think people are honestly gonna see this. You and me see this because we're obviously business owners.
Right.
The people who see the egg milk cost, once it runs down and trickles down to like, hey, that's getting taxed up.
Yeah.
It's too late at that point. And that's when the average American or the average citizen is going to actually take into account and be like, hey, or gas prices.
Right, dude. I like the thing is, I'm super pro Constitution and pro constitutional amendments.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm super not pro every other part of it. Every other part of it is, to me, it's just legalized power. You know what I'm saying? It's legalized power is what it is, ultimately. So if it's not like making more constitutional amendments and limiting the power of the rest of it, I am against it. That's kind of where I'm at present day. I've come full circle. I'm just like, nope, we need like 30 new constitutional amendments. We really need to just take the power back, because obviously if you give power to people, well, they try to rule over people, and that's not what America's supposed to be about.
Do you see that people just, as soon as they take power, that they're easily giving it up?
Right, that's not what America's supposed to be about.
Honestly, so this is really cool too, because this podcast, in a way, is almost like the tattoo game, where it's like we're getting this broad scope of people who are coming into our lives and different perspectives that we get to see. This can change this on a huge level. Like right now, we talked about gas prices in our area right now. Gas prices kind of dropped. It's about, what was it, Billy? $3.53.
Oh, it dropped because
it dropped a little. It was about $4 because people were talking shit, so they had to give it up a little bit.
Right, because the election's coming up.
Yeah.
But just to
where are the gas? First, I want to know.
I'm old.
On comment section, I want to know, where are your gas prices looking like, and where are you from? Because I'm 100% certain we're all getting taxed.
So I'm gonna give it a little context, because I'm old, so I like to go back to the Wayback Machines occasionally, right? And if we go in the way back machine of 2 years ago.
The way back machine.
Yeah.
Time travel, maybe.
Of 2 whole years ago, in this area, it was $1.67 a gallon.
Fuck me.
Okay. So
fuck me sideways.
Whatever it went down, it's still more than freaking double what it was. Like,
for sure.
It's bull crap, and it can't happen that fast without doing it on purpose.
Kids, get your assets in line. Buy cryptocurrency.
Look, anybody who works in government, and no offense, but anybody who works in government, if they were really good at their job, unless you're talking about like law enforcement and stuff like that, if they were really good at their job, they would be in the private sector. Now, like law enforcement particularly is a niche thing, and that's a sector in itself. But if you're talking about like bureaucratic stuff and like elected politicians and their aides and all that crap, bro, the reason they're doing that is because in the private sector, they couldn't win. They couldn't win in the private sector, so they had to go into that sector, into government, and try to manipulate the rules so they can win. And that's literally what you see going on with all the bureaucrats, all the people, both sides, everybody in Congress.
Need to be taken care of.
Right. It's crony capitalism. They're all failed at the public sector, so they went into government to manipulate the public sector to make themselves rich.
So, yeah, 100%.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And
the bigger companies.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Like, in my opinion, spread this on the internet, people, please. In my opinion, we need a new constitutional amendment.
Bulletins right now.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, that straight up, one, no incorporated entity can violate the Constitution, period. None. Not one incorporated entity can do it. And two, once you become a public servant, you get your salary for life, you have term limits, and you never can work in the private sector or own stock or own land or any of that stuff. Spend your money, go rent. You're getting paid
that needs
good.
to be, you get paid good. That's a self-sacrificing job. When you jump, you're not supposed to be making, exactly.
Public
you're not
servant.
supposed to be making, they're not even just making ends meet. They're like taking the dollars.
Yeah, who cares? Give them $1 million a year. I don't care. Let them be rich.
That's great, but like there should be no conflict of interest. Like when you're in a position of power like that, you shouldn't be able to manipulate your way around.
Right.
Pay them well. Same thing I think for police officers. I tattoo a police officer. I think that their salary, I don't know exactly what it is everywhere else, but around here it's about $30,000 to $40,000 a year.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
If I was like, and again, I 100% believe in yin and yang. I know that there's some bad seeds in every group, but it's bullshit. You're incentivizing someone to do something illegal.
The rules incentivize it, right? Like, so, like, look, this is real simple. It's a simple concept. A lock won't stop a thief. Mm-hmm. Okay, a lock isn't going to stop a thief, but a lock will deter someone who is thinking about it. All right. So a lot of things that are being done are just, it's legit. You're allowed to do it, and I'm going to do it. Right.
Yeah,
so that's the problem. Once you put a lock on it, only the real crooks, the people who are willing to get locked up over it, will do it, and the rest of the people that aren't willing to take those risks will not. And I think that would bring down the corruption. We'll never bring corruption down to zero. But if we could only get half of them to be corrupt, dude, it's a new lease on life,
Even for bigger companies like the anti-theft sectors and like Home Depot, I was reading it was probably like 2 years ago that I read this, but they were letting out information saying, hey, look, we're never going to be able to stop someone if they really want something. We can prevent as much as we can from it, but when someone really wants something, they're going to go and get it. So they can put preventative measures, but other than that, like, they're going to fucking rob you if they want to rob you.
But the preventative measures do deter the amateurs. Like the amateurs.
Yes, I 100%. But those amateurs might look at that one day and be like, I really want to do this. So now let me put in the information. And then there'll be some dumbasses who don't even need the information, just run for it because either way it goes, they want to do it.
So the thing is, though, the situation we have right now, well, in that context, right, I agree with what you're saying, one. But secondly, in that context, they're already breaking the rules. Right now, in most cases, it looks corrupt, but the rules are allowing them to do it. You know what I mean? So first things first, we need to make rules where they're not allowed to do that no more. Like, no, you can't own stocks. You're a public servant. Too bad. Here, give them a nice bump in salary, give them the salary for life, and give them term limits, and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? And that needs to be in the Constitution because they can't change that, right? It's immutable. It's in the Constitution. That's it. So they need to make that an amendment. The problem is they're allowed to. It's not even. They're not. There's very few cases where what they're doing is actually illegal. There's plenty of cases where it's corrupt, but we're allowing corruption right now.
Yeah, but also
it's
remember,
like leaving the shop with not the door unlocked, but it actually propped open.
There's a huge difference also between blue collar criminals and the average criminal. You have, and the white collar criminals, or however you would phrase that. But a lot of the, like even pharmaceutical companies, they'll go away. They don't give a fuck if they just experimented with a lot of people and even killed some people, because at the end of the day, it's a fine. And then they're just flipping numbers.
It's a dollar cost average.
It's a dollar cost average. They're saying, hey, you know what? We lost a few $1 million in that case, but guess what? We're up a few bill.
Did you see Fight Club?
No.
Okay, so
maybe when I was younger.
I'm gonna give the reference to Fight Club. So the main character, he was like a guy that worked for like car manufacturers, and basically what he did was he went and tallied up the manufacturer's errors in like cars catching on fire and stuff like that. He'd go check them out, and he basically was the guy who did the math to see if doing a recall was worth it. It's like, oh, one out of this many blow up and kill everybody in it, but it's only one out of this many, and we could pay them off for this much. A recall would cost us this much, and they dollar cost average out.
It's business.
Yeah. So right now, I think what's going on with like the crony capitalism is it is business. It's not.
Yeah, it's all business.
It's not.
Government
illegal,
bought out.
right?
News bought out.
Yeah, it's like
even social media is bought out.
Yeah, the problem is it's actually legit right now to do that.
For sure.
That's why I say the first one, we need a constitutional amendment that makes all incorporated entities have to follow the Constitution, because that makes it to where even if Facebook is being pressured by government organizations, there's nothing they can do about it. You know what I mean?
So they're making it work.
What's going on?
And we got a visitor today.
Yep.
How you doing, Bill?
What's going on, man? We're actually recording right now. So give me just 1 second, okay?
On a live podcast, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, we're in the spaceship today. The door's open. It's the middle of the day. I don't know how long we went, but I'm feeling pretty good right there. So
that was a pretty good conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. We can always dive deeper into it.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, if you guys have any ideas for us at home, things to talk about, different subjects to talk about, let us know in the comments below so we can find out. And if you guys know of any really interesting people that wants to talk to us, we check them out. Let us know in the comments for now. We'll give more information in the future to get further contact with us.
Definitely need some more.
There's stuff linked right there on the YouTube page too.
All linked and plugged in, baby.
Yeah.
Don't forget to click that subscribe button. Check us out. The new thing or something.
Peace.
Deuces.